way you access your heart is you have to bring your awareness to your heart center, your heart chakra. Sufis don't like to use that word chakra, although it's a good word because it has to do with a spinning disc, and these energy centers are spinning. But we like to say latifs. Latifs mean the heart subtlety. So we say the heart latif, we're talking about the subtle nature of your heart. And the heart, as in Sufi, we say you have four dimensions of your heart. One dimension is yourself or your nafs or ego. One dimension is your deeper heart, which is really what you love. The third dimension is the soul, which is sort of the soul's heartfelt feeling. And a fourth dimension is the spirit, which is the God self, or the aspect of the self that belongs to our connection to God. So those four things come together inside our heart, and we jump around. We can go between any of them at any time. One moment you're in your spirit and you're namasteing to somebody, saying, I bow to the God in you from the God in me. And the next moment you're in your ego and you're saying, it really pisses me off who you are because you don't do what I want. And then the next moment you say, I love you so much because you reflect back some attribute that I love. And all these things move inside the person's heart, and they're jumping around all the time. So to get to the heart, it's the first thing is you have to actually recognize the places in yourself that you've closed your heart down. And again, this always has to do with pain, because being vulnerable, the heart is very vulnerable. And when you live in your heart, especially as a child, and you're so wide open, and you get rejected or you get judged or you get criticized, it's very easy for the vulnerability to want to go away. So we close our heart to protect ourselves. But the truth is that you close your heart, you close the love. And when you close the love, you miss the love, and the love is the greatest experience a human being can have. So it's very important to be open to the love. So the first thing is to get down there and move those places inside yourself that have closed it. I call those the doors or the veils. Why did you close it? Maybe you see that your father judged you or criticized you. Sometimes it's the simplest little things that break our hearts. Like I can think about my own daughters. My 9-year-old, sometimes she comes to me, and she's like, oh, daddy, look at this beautiful drawing that she put so much time for. And I know that I have to be so careful, because if she's coming with her precious drawing, even if it's something that I completely don't like or whatever, I have to be very careful with everything I say about it, because for her, this is her heart, and I found that by just giving her the love, that's what keeps her heart open and makes her strong. Now, as she's gotten stronger, she can take criticism. You're like, oh, you don't like that? I'll make a better one. Now she can do that. But a few years ago, there was too much vulnerability there. So we have to treat our own hearts as a parent. We have to love our hearts and recognize that our hearts are very subtle and sometimes very young. Sometimes our hearts are operating from 3 or 4 or 5 years old, these places where we got shut down. And we've got to go in and care for that place and say, okay, you know what, daddy didn't mean to hurt you. You are good, and I love your picture, and your picture is beautiful. And it's like you just give value, and the heart says, oh, I'm good, I'm valuable, I'm worthy, and the heart begins to open. So that's the secret of opening the heart, is finding the places you got closed and bringing the love back to those places. Then the heart begins to open, and then you learn to live. The next step is learning, how do you live in the heart?